day down here, but one day I'll be home with God. Down here is pain, heartache, suffering, illness, and all kind of other things that happen. There's some happiness, but it's not continual joy. Not the joy we'll have when we get home. When we get home, singing around the throne of God. That's what we're looking. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, getting charged up. Some of us need a little bit of charging because things have been rough. You know, it's been tough. And it's been a hard year. And we all have suffered some things. And I look around, I'm looking, and I know who I'm looking at because I know you have had some issues. Of course, you know I couldn't see nothing. So I've had a few surgeries, and God is good. Yes, He is. He is good. And so we are now on the crest of our meeting, Gospel Revival meeting. It's going to start next week. Evangelist was coming all the way from Texas, and he has some great lessons in store. But guess what? If you don't come, if you don't show up, then it's not going to be effective. And we're talking about revival even today. Got a few things to share with you about revival. Because I think that all of us need to be revived. And to get reinvigorated and excited about God. Not about a meeting, but about God. And doing more for His kingdom. That's what we're talking about. And that's what we're going to talk about today for a little bit. And so, turn with me. Psalms 85, 6 through 13. It should be on the board. Wilt thou not revive us again, that thy people may rejoice in thee? Show us thy mercy, O Lord. Grant us thy salvation. I will hear what God the Lord will speak. For He will speak peace unto His people and to His saints. But let them not turn again to folly. Surely His salvation is nigh them that fear Him, that glory may dwell in our land. Mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, the Lord shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase. Righteousness shall go before Him, and shall set us in the ways of His steps. Now, when you look at Psalms 85, just verses 1 through 13, it is a prayer in the midst of crisis for the ancient faith community. They prayed for joy. Joy that comes from God's presence in the midst of the world. Now, the first 13 verses can be divided up like this. Verses 1 through 3, God's previous restoration history of the community of believers. Verses 4 through 7 is a plea for God to restore in a new crisis. And then in verses 8 through 13, a message of assurance and hope. This psalm was written during the post-exilic setting And the whole thing about it is that we first got to remember what we have with God. If you want to try to be revived, you got to first remember what you have and what God has done for you. Then you need to petition God to come again into your life and reinvigorate you so that you can withstand the new episodes and crisis that you may come upon. Remembering full well, God is able, God is capable, God is willing, and we just have to trust Him. Because He's already provided everything that we need to be successful. So when we come to our text, the psalmist asks a question of a rhetorical nature to God. Will you not revive us again? You have helped us in the past. We have disobeyed you. You have allowed us to be captured and subdued. Then you brought us back. And now we're still struggling. Will you hold back your spiritual blessing? Will you hold it back from us? Will you not revive us? And you know what I think? True revival brings true joy. If but the mercy of God, that brings a true revival. During times of stress, we welcome the direction of God. We understand salvation is possible because of God. But we have to be obedient in following His teaching. That's the issue. Wonder why you feel flat, non-concerned, nonchalant, lazy like a daisical, and as my dad would say, trifling, scandalous and ashamed. So you wonder why you feel like that. Because you have allowed your joy and your purpose to be distorted. You see, God has everything. God has prepared everything. And He has left nothing to chance. It says in our text that mercy and truth come together. Righteousness and peace have kissed. Now, I don't know about you, but a kiss is a little bit of intimacy. I ain't talking about marital kisses, nothing like that. I'm just talking about between folks. It means intimacy. You don't let folks get to your face if you don't appreciate them. I don't. So, when He brought this together, there's a certain intimacy about righteousness and peace when you're with God. It said truth springs up from the ground. Righteousness rain down from heaven. So if something's coming up and something's coming down, it's going to meet. It's going to connect. That's revival. When you can get God's righteousness to spring up out of you, when you can get His truth to come upon you, then you can then become or be revived. Got a lesson today. Revival. A second chance at a new beginning. Now, I underscore that with this one man's personal journey. The reason why I say that is that I know revival is personal. We may hear things collectively. We may be in a corporate worship. But revival is an individual God has to say. That's how it is about revival. And with our spring revival coming up in the near future, it behooves us to think about what revival means to each one of us on a personal level.
Yes, sir.
I put some definitions on the board. The definition of revival: an act or instance of reviving, the state of being revived, a period of renewed religious interest.
Yes.
It is a force, and it affects us. And we were studying about that. When I gave you that handout, I put in there, what is Christian revival? And I gave you a little paragraph that some of us mine and some of us something else. I got somewhere else, but it made sense. Revival refers to a spiritual reawakening from a state of dormancy or stagnation in the life of a believer. It encompasses the resurfacing of a love for God, an appreciation of God's holiness, a passion for His Word, His church, a convicting awareness of personal and corporate sin, a spirit of humility, and a desire for repentance and growth in righteousness. The root word to revival is the word revive. Revive can be used as a verb, as an intransitive verb, to return to consciousness or life, becoming active or flourishing again. In a transitive verb sense, it is to restore to consciousness of life, to restore from a depressed, inactive, or unused state. Bring it back. Bring it back. To renew in the mind or memory. That's what revival is. When you look at it in the Strong's Concordance, biblically, it is to revive. The word is, and I'm not a Greek scholar, but the word is anakalo. And it's a strange word, but it just means to thrive or flourish again. The key to our discussion today: revive, return to consciousness, and flourish for God. Now, one of the key questions that we posed in our study for Wednesday was, do you feel that revival is possible or necessary for this congregation? That was one of the questions we had. It was the first one. Your answer should have been yes. Should have been yes. I'm going to tell you right now. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's necessary. For us and the whole congregation, it's beneficial. Because revival is hope. That's the key to revival. Hope. Revival is a personal thing. Revival is a clean slate or starting anew. Personal revival is a return to consciousness and flourishing. I want to use this example about somebody you know. You? No. In 2001, how many years ago was that? 17 years ago. Many of you remember that the doctors told me that I was dying. My primary physician actually told me it was nice meeting you and knowing you. Shook my hand. My wife and I looked at each other in disbelief. And I told her and him, I don't feel like I'm dying. But a few days later at the emergency room, a doctor gave me a choice to die in a few hours or allow them to place me on a life support system. I told them I'm ready to die. And I'm at peace, so just let me go. 43 years old. Just let me go. And my wife begged them to let her make the decision. But they said I was alert enough to make my own decision. That's why I know that sometimes it's a personal thing. No matter who wants you to be a better Christian, or a better person, or a better this or that, it is ultimately up to you if you want to do something for yourself. But finally she pleaded. And you know, a wife has a way. And I remember at the hospital, I was determined not to go on life support. I said, no, I'm just going to go on home, do something with God. I was ready to go. But she pleaded with me to try life support. Give my body a chance to heal. I simply nodded to the doctor, okay. And I don't remember anything for 3-4 weeks. Vague remembrances that right now make absolutely no sense. But when I woke up, when they actually did bring me back, when I was revived to consciousness, I felt good. And that's what I'm thinking about. Sometimes we're so caught in our sins that we think there's no way out. And we just don't believe it's within us to be successful spiritually. Others are asking us, give God a chance. But we're refusing by saying, I just can't do it. But at the end, if we give God a try, then at the end you'll be happy. I had a new attitude, a new lease on life. I'd been revived. I awakened from my unconscious state. I was feeling better. Sometimes other people are in a better position to view your spirituality. We are too close to the situation, even to the point of just not caring for our own souls. Not believing that we can do better. They may plead with you to change. Your parents, your friends in the church, the minister, the leadership. But the pleading falls on deaf ear as we continue to languish in our sins. Are we content? I dare say no. We just give it up like I had done. Give up. It's impossible. I accepted my fate, but God has another plan. Turn to 2 Timothy 2:24-26. This is about those who are trying to prevail with folk who need help. Wife had to prevail with me. Then others are prevailing with you. This is something you take into consideration when you're trying to help somebody. It's not about what you're doing anyway. It's about what God does in their lives. The Bible says in verse 24,
a servant of the Lord must not quarrel.
He must not quarrel.
But must be kind to everyone.
You can't argue with anybody about being a servant of God. You cannot make and coerce somebody for being a Christian. You can present something, but you can't make them. Read.
Be able to teach.
Be able to teach.
And be patient.
But be patient.
With difficult people.
Difficult people. And you know what? That's what I was. A difficult patient who had given up and had just decided it wasn't worth it. And there are many in the church that have decided it's not worth it.
Come on, sir.
To revive and to be something, just not worth it. The effort and things that are needed to make ourselves better. But what are we supposed to do? Verse 25.
Gently instruct those.
Gently. Can't argue with them. Gently what?
Instruct those who oppose the truth.
Yeah, just gently tell them. Read.
Perhaps God will change those people's hearts.
That is the key. You can't change them. You can't make them. You can only instruct gently. God can change their hearts.
And they will learn the truth.
They'll learn the truth.
Then they will come to their senses.
Then they'll come to their senses.
And escape from the devil's trap.
Oh, wow.
For they have been held captive by him to do whatever he wants.
That's the key. We got people who are been in the church their whole lives, but Satan got them. Satan has them in a trap, and they can't seem to get out of it. They tried before, they failed. They struggled, and guess what? Now they just give up. They're at home somewhere. You don't see them go to the grocery store. They're dodging and hiding in the meat counter because they don't want to see you.
All right.
Yeah. One time I went to the grocery store. Saw a brother I hadn't seen in a long time. He happened to be in the beverage aisle. Had himself a nice Merlot or something in his hand. When I said, "How you doing?" he up and saw me, took behind the back. "Hey, brother, how you doing?" "I'm doing fine." No, I didn't try to look at what's that? I didn't try to do that. I already saw the brother. You know, if he's going there and get his Merlot and trying to get him